If you are someone who has switched from a Windows PC to a Mac, then this guide is for you. Now before we get into the software differences, let's start with the hardware first. So on the keyboard of Mac, you will find some of the keys changed. On Windows, what was the control key becomes the command key on Mac, and the alt key on Windows becomes option on Mac. The second difference is the trackpad. On a Windows PC, you needed to click on the bottom right of the trackpad to initiate a right click. Whereas on a Mac, you need to press the 2 fingers on the trackpad to enable a right click. Now let's get started with the software. When it comes to the desktop, there aren't many changes with Windows and macOS. Just like Windows had the taskbar, on macOS you have the dock which houses all your frequently used apps. The time, Wi-Fi, app status, etc. showed on the bottom right on Windows, whereas on Mac, everything is pushed to the top right. In the starting, one thing might bug you out a lot, and that is that this smiling app in the dock keeps on running all the time. This has a dot underneath on it which represents that this app is still running, and if you try to close it, it doesn't get closed. Well, because this app is called Finder, which is the file explorer of macOS. This is where you navigate through your files, delete them, and do all of the other file related stuff. The Finder keeps on running all the time on your Mac because it is a very important process. This is the process which supports the whole Mac OS. And this is not the case with Macs. Even on Windows, the Windows Explorer process keeps on running all the time. The difference is that you don't see it visually open. Now that we have talked about the Finder, let's see how you can use that. Once you open Finder, in the sidebar you will see all of the major locations like applications, documents, downloads, desktop, etc. Each of these directories can be accessed by clicking on their name in the Finder sidebar. If you want to add your custom directories to get there quickly, then what you need to do is go to the folder which you want to add, drag that folder and drop it onto the sidebar. When you add USB drives, pen drives, SD cards, external drives, etc. to your Mac, you shall see them appear under the location section in the sidebar. Just like you ejected these drives in Windows by going to the taskbar, right clicking and clicking on eject, on Mac what you need to do is come to the location in the sidebar, right click the name and then click on eject. To create a new folder in macOS, you need to press on Command plus Shift plus N on your keyboard, or right click and click on new folder in Finder. To rename the file, you can select the file, right click with the double tap and click on rename. Or a quicker way of doing it is that select your file and click on the return button on your Mac's keyboard. On a Windows PC, to open a photo or a video, you needed to double click on it and then it would open in the Photos app. But on a Mac, there is a very cool feature called Quick Look. So just select the photo or the video which you want to view and press on the spacebar on your keyboard. For copying files in Finder, click on Command C, and for pasting them, click on Command V on your keyboard. But when it comes to cut and paste, things become a little different. On a Windows PC, you would press Ctrl X to cut it. So you would generally think I need to press Command X to cut a file on Mac. But that's not the case. What you need to do is, you need to hit Command C to copy that file, go to the directory where you want to paste it, and then instead of pressing Command plus V, press Command plus Option plus V. What that would do is that it would move your file from the original location to the new location. Zipping and unzipping is very common. On a Mac, what you need to do is select the folder, right click and then click on Compress. That would zip that folder. To open a zipped folder, just double click on it and that would open. To go to a particular folder in the Finder, go to the Go and Go To folder in the top bar. Or you can press on Command Shift G and then enter the location to that folder. And lastly, to view the information about a file on Windows, you need to select it, right click and then click on Properties. But on a Mac, you need to right click and click on Get Info, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Command plus I. App behavior is way different on macOS than what it is on Windows. In the starting, this bugged me out a lot. For example, if you opened an app on Mac and then you clicked on the red cross icon to close it, you will see it doesn't actually close. But on a Windows PC, all you needed to do was click on the red cross icon and then that app would be closed permanently. As it turns out, clicking the red cross icon isn't the correct way of closing apps on Mac. clicking on the red cross icon would only close the frontmost window of the app. Now if you wanted to permanently close the app so that it doesn't take your precious RAM and CPU resources, then you need to click on Command plus Q on your keyboard, and that would quit the app. Now on a Windows PC, if you clicked on the maximize button, that would full screen the app while also showing you the taskbar. But on a Mac, if you click on the green maximize or the full screen button, it takes the app into full immersive mode and you don't even see a dock or the top bar. But now, if you want the normal maximizing on Mac so that you can see your top bar and your dock, then what you need to do is you need to double click on the title bar of the app. Or something which I recommend to install is called Rectangle. Rectangle is a free app which shall add all of the multitasking layouts of Windows easily to macOS. When you have too many apps open on your Mac, it can get quite cluttered, and for that there is a feature called Mission Control. Mission Control allows you to get a bird's view of all of your apps. To use that feature, first open many apps running in the background and then on your trackpad swipe up with 4 fingers, and now you will see that your apps go in a mode like this where you can see all of the apps which are open and you can switch between them, or you can also press on F3 on your keyboard. Macs have a very cool trackpad feature called Force Touch. So to enable this feature, what you need to do is you need to go to System Preferences, Trackpad, and then enable the Force Click and Haptic Feedback option. Now what will happen is when you click with force on your trackpad, it will give you some haptic feedback and it will perform a specific function. For example, if you have lots of windows of your app open, for example you are working on a browser and you have a normal window with 5 to 6 tabs and an in private incognito window open with 2 to 3 tabs. Now one way to switch between them is to use Mission Control, but the second way is Force Touch. What you need to do is go to the app's icon in the dock, place your cursor over that icon and then force click with one finger on your trackpad, and then see the magic. You will be shown all of the windows side by side. That was all about closing apps and looking at the windows. But what about opening them in the first place? So there are 3 ways to do this. First, you can go to the Finder, Applications, select the app you want to open and double click on it. Second, you can go to the Launchpad in your dock and then from here you can browse through all of the apps. And the third and the fastest and the best method is using Spotlight. So what you need to do is click on Command plus Spacebar on your keyboard. Now that will show you a search bar on your Mac. Here you can search for the app and click on Return to open it. Spotlight allows you to do a lot on your Mac, like opening apps, browsing through files, performing calculations, even searching the web, etc. Now the next thing is deleting apps. So to delete apps there are 2 ways. The first is you can go to the Launchpad from here in your dock, select the app and drag it onto your bin. The second method is going into Finder, Applications, selecting the app you want to delete and then clicking on Command plus Delete on your keyboard. Command plus Delete is the function you need to use to delete even files. The delete key on your Mac's keyboard won't delete files. You need to press Command plus Delete. Multitasking is very important. On Windows, you can drag an app window to the corners of the screen and it will show you an animation and would snap the app into different layouts. But on a Mac, what you need to do is keep your cursor over the full screen button for a few seconds and 3 options would pop up. From there you can select whether you want to tile your app to the left or the right. Now multitasking on Mac is very limited. There aren't many features and only 2 layouts are present. So what I would recommend downloading is an app called Rectangle. Rectangle shall add multiple layouts and it shall also enable keyboard shortcuts to snap your apps into different layouts, all while being free. You can see my best Mac apps video over here. Windows has Windows plus Shift plus S to drag and take a screenshot. On Mac you have 3 ways to take a screenshot. By clicking on Command plus Shift plus 3, you shall be able to take a full screenshot. By clicking on Command Shift 4, you will be able to drag and select an area to take a screenshot of. And by clicking on Command Shift 5, you will be able to take the screenshot of a particular app window. On Windows, we had the clunky game bar to record screen, but that could only record games and not other stuff you do. On a Mac, there is an inbuilt screen recorder which you can access by clicking Command Shift 5, and that will record everything on your screen. You can even select custom areas to record. If you are a geek and you love checking your system stats like CPU usage, RAM usage, GPU usage, etc., then on Windows you had the Task Manager which could be accessed by Ctrl Shift Escape. On Mac, you have Activity Monitor. Once you open Activity Monitor, you can switch between different tabs to open the CPU usage, RAM, and your disk usage, network usage, etc. If your Mac is used by a lot of people and you don't want them to be able to access your personal data, then what you can use is called users and groups. You can create a separate user profile for each of those people, and then they'll be able to access the Mac without ever accessing your documents and stuff. Lastly, you could shut down your Windows PC by going under the Windows button and then power and then shut down. On a Mac, go to the Apple logo and shut down. Thanks for watching this video, and sub if you want more tech related content. Thanks for watching.